All right, let's talk about something we all think we know, the chimney. Most of us probably never give it a second thought. But today, we're going to dive into these really fascinating technical sketches for a system called the G2-Home Chimney. And trust me, this isn't just a new chimney. It's a complete reinvention of the fireplace as we know it. So, let's break down how it all works. Here's the plan. First, we'll talk about why traditional chimneys are kind of broken. Then, we'll get into the G2's super clever heat-trapping core and its awesome modular design. After that, we'll see how it actually cleans the smoke. And finally, we'll put all the pieces together to see the whole system in action.
So first up, rethinking the chimney. You know, the classic fireplace is cozy, it's iconic, but its basic design hasn't really changed in centuries. And over all that time, one major flaw has become crystal clear.
And here's the thing, that flaw is just how incredibly inefficient they are. I mean, really think about it. You get that beautiful fire roaring, and it feels so warm and cozy. But where does most of that heat actually go? Yep, straight up the chimney, out into the cold air, along with all the smoke. It's a huge waste of energy. And that is exactly where the G2-Home Chimney comes in. What I love about this initial sketch is that you can see it attacks that core problem head-on. The whole idea is to say, hey, wait a minute, let's stop letting all that precious heat just float away. Instead, the goal is to capture it and actually use it to heat the room. Which brings us right to our second section, the heat-trapping core. So how does this system actually grab all that energy before it vanishes? Well, it's not one single thing, but a few really smart components all working in perfect harmony.
Okay, so let's look at what's going on inside. As the hot smoke travels up, it has to pass through these copper heat pipe coils. Now, copper is fantastic at absorbing heat, so it just soaks it all up. At the same time, you have these heat-reflecting walls that are basically bouncing all the radiant heat back towards those coils, making sure nothing is wasted. Finally, all that captured energy heats up a big stone slab on the front, which then gently radiates that warmth right back into your living space.
So the whole principle is actually pretty simple, but it's incredibly powerful. Instead of just being an exhaust pipe, the chimney becomes an active part of your home's heating system. It's basically harvesting all this energy that in a normal fireplace would be completely and totally lost. But being super efficient is only half the battle. The next huge innovation here is all about the form. We're not talking about a massive one-size-fits-all brick structure anymore. This thing is modular. Now check out this more detailed diagram, because this is where it gets really cool. You can see the whole thing is built on a simple steel wire frame. And inside that frame, you have these stackable exhaust modules. Those are the core building blocks. You basically just stack them up, one on top of the other, to build a chimney to the exact height you need. And if you're not totally sure what modular design means, honestly, just think of Legos. It's the same idea. Instead of one giant, unchangeable object, you get these standardized pieces that you can connect and combine however you want. And you can see in the notes, it even opens the door for other modules down the line, maybe with self-powering features or sliding racks. It's all about options. And this whole approach unlocks some really big advantages. The height, totally customizable. Just add and remove modules. The steel frame is super strong but also lightweight. And it's designed with mounts so you can attach it directly to a wall or give it that classic look with a decorative stone front. It's all about flexibility. Okay, so the G2 system is efficient and it's totally customizable. But what about that other big problem with fireplaces? The smoke. Well, that brings us to our next section, which shows how this system has a built-in solution for that too. And here it is. This schematic shows us the final and maybe one of the most brilliant pieces of the puzzle, an active smoke reduction system. This module actually sits right on top of the heat trapping stack, and it is designed to literally wash the smoke before it ever leaves your house.
So how does it work? It's fascinating. First, the smoke comes up into this special chamber. A humidifier sprays a really fine mist of water into it. Then, that damp smoke passes by these static electricity plates. They act like little magnets for all the dust and soot particles, pulling them out of the air. Those particles then stick to the water droplets and just fall down into a collection tray. It's genius.
All right, so now that we've seen all the individual parts, let's step back and look at the whole shebang. Let's see how the G2 works as one complete, seamless system that tackles pretty much every problem with the traditional fireplace. And this image shows it perfectly. On the left, you've got the heart of the system, that modular, heat-trapping frame that builds the body of the chimney. And then, sitting right on top, you have the smoke reduction chamber that finishes the job. Each part has its own function, but they're designed to click together and work as a team. So,
If you're going to take away just one thing from all this, let it be this. The G2 Home Chimney isn't just a small improvement. It's a total rethink from the ground up. It's way more efficient because it captures and reuses heat. It's customizable to fit pretty much any home. And it's a whole lot cleaner thanks to that active smoke scrubbing system.
And that just leaves me with one final thought. This whole philosophy, this idea of taking something big and clunky and breaking it down into smart, efficient little modules, that could be applied to so many other things in our lives. So it kind of makes you wonder, what other parts of our homes are just waiting for their own modular revolution?